Did I even make a damn difference? I have put this face of hope, expressing that things don't have to be the way they are. I've done everything from making a video about how my own depression almost ruined filmmaking for me, and how my own heartbreak shouldn't make me a cold person, all in service of a loneliness epidemic. And yet, no matter how hard I tried, nothing has even changed. I noticed from scrolling on Reels and seeing the content that's pushed on me, it's all so hopeless, and seeing the comments paints an even darker picture. I don't know if me being a filmmaker can even help people feel hopeful. All I've ever done is try to, I don't know, think different, and yet it's never resulted in think different.
Here's to the crazy ones. You can quote them, disagree with them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
This changed everything for Apple and Steve Jobs. Jobs is someone who needs no introduction because more likely than not, you're probably watching this video off one of his inventions. What does need an introduction is how Steve Jobs believed in the power of storytelling. Steve Jobs famously said, the most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. And Jobs was a master at this. Jobs was able to clearly present the problems in the marketplace and how his products were not just the solution, but also the future. He made people think different with his inventions, and he also made me think different, but not in the way you would expect. Back in high school, I had to present a famous speech from someone, and this is a speech I stumbled upon.
So I decided to drop out and trust that it would all work out okay. Because I had dropped out, I decided to take a calligraphy class to learn how to do this. None of this had even a hope of any practical application in my life. But 10 years later, when we were designing the first Macintosh computer, it all came back to me. You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. And that will make all the difference.
This speech changed how I saw my own life. At that time, it was one of the darkest moments of my life because I felt like nothing I was doing was gonna amount to anything. And someone like Jobs told me that everything in life happens for a reason and that it will all eventually make sense if you trust your intuition and gut. I think we need to connect my own dots. And how did I get here right now?
So on this channel, I've talked a lot about how I felt different growing up.
Where I could not be more different from everybody else. I am not like everybody else. I had it in me to be different from everybody else. How different I was.
And while all that is true, I did leave a key part on why I felt different growing up. If you follow me on social media or seen the podcast I was on, you probably already know what I'm going to talk about. But if you don't, here goes nothing. When I was 3 years old, I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, something that would forever change the trajectory of my life.
A lot of things was so immensely confusing to me. I was academically behind my peers, I lacked significant friendships, and I felt like an alien among everyone else.
Worst of all, the education system and even my own parents didn't believe I would even make it into college, let alone high school. These were the circumstances that conditioned how I thought about myself, that there was something fundamentally wrong with who I am, and that I was worth nothing.
All of which could have actually happened, except it never did. You see, from early on in life, I just had this gut feeling that I was meant for more because of my wild imagination. And what unlocked it further was my love for the arts, creativity, and video games. Video games were my ability to interact with art and see how creativity can make someone like me feel significant.
I found the creativity of video games so beautiful and inspiring, but no one wanted to hear me yap about it. Well, I needed to yap to someone, so I created a YouTube channel in order to do so.
YouTube allowed me to express myself and tap into learning skills like filming, editing, and talking on camera, and that was something I found greatly rewarding. None of this had any hope of being useful. When I started my filmmaking path, all these skills came back to me. My sense of imagination and creativity allowed me to create new ways to make films that made me feel so inspired. I realized I was given the gift early on of realizing what I truly love doing and the great work I want to accomplish in this world.
And then an epiphany hit me when I connected the dots on my life. Everything that I hated about myself growing up were the things that made me who I am. My passion for the arts, my love of filmmaking, the way I saw the world. I saw the beauty of how being different allowed me to finally live the life I've always wanted to live. And the most beautiful part is that when I finally connected the dots, I finally loved who I am. Simply put, autism is not my disability, it's my goddamn superpower.
Storytelling is the power that changed my life, and I think it has the power to change everyone else's life.
Call me optimistic, but this won't just solve the loneliness epidemic, but it's what our generation needs. This is how the world changes when we think different. And maybe I can't change the world by using math or sciences, but what I can do is use my creativity and storytelling skills in order to do so. I believe the world can be a better place if we keep spreading a positive message. And even if I only help one person, that is worth all the trouble. So to honor the words of Steve Jobs, stay hungry, stay foolish, think different.